Hello everyone, Tammy here. Welcome to my channel. Today is Self-Care Sunday, and yeah, I have a few fun things planned. So, first off, let's just set these over here. Light our candle to remind us. I light it for a couple of reasons. It makes a really good transition from being out in the rest of my house and then coming in here. Even when I don't film, I light a candle. It just it helps to shift whatever I'm doing um, to be like, hey, I'm lighting this candle. um, I like the um, sugar cookie scent the best. It's either sugar cookie or vanilla buttercream. Those are my two favorites. And it just, and Nog Champa. So I have three that I light and I like to use. And when I smell those, it just reminds me that I'm in my art room. And I also light it sometimes a little more mindfully to send good healing vibes out to those who need it. So that's the candle lighting. I haven't talked about that in a while, so I'll just push this over here. And then we are into spring, and this is my Seasons of the Witch Beltane Oracle. I just started using it yesterday. I did a poll. I got this card, Bonfire. So I thought it would be fun to pull a card before we start this Self-Care Sunday. So these Seasons of the Witch Oracle decks, I think eventually there's going to be 8, one for each of the Sabbats. This one is for Beltane, which is on May 1st. And so I have Beltane, I have Samhain, and I have Yule. I will get later on, probably in June or July, there's a Mabon one that I will get and start using. That one just came out. So that'll be 4, and supposedly they're putting 8 out, so we'll see. I really like them. I really like the art and everything. So just looking for a message for today's Self-Care Sunday for the collective. So for everyone watching, what is a good message we can take with us today? And there we go. Okay, so today we have honey. So hopefully you can see that. It's a very beautiful image of a woman. It looks like she has honey tears. Her third eye has a little honeycomb with a little bee there. She has what I take to be a full moon behind her. Could be the sun. Flowers. And it says, honey, the sweetness of you swells in the grace of your pull. Oh, so beautifully lethal. That sounds ominous. So let's see what the book says. You've probably heard the phrase, you can catch more flies with honey than you do with vinegar, which easily applies to manifestation, magic, and even healing. Your soul attracts more with positivity, love, and compassion than it does with anger, frustration, and sadness. So if you have found yourself in a period of unrest, jealousy, heartache, or fear, know that the path to healing yourself is through allowing sweetness to swell within your being. Rejoice in the success of your and good fortune of others. Celebrate the good in your life rather than focusing on what's wrong or broken. Find compassion and forgiveness for those who have brought you pain. Each act of sweetness repairs the breaks in your heart, leading you on the journey towards restoration. Your abundance will be tenfold when you walk the path of sweetness, even if you have not felt much heartache and are currently experiencing a period of good fortune. The more you lean into kindness of heart, the more increase you shall see return to you, an increase in love, wealth, health, and joy, or all of the above. So there you go. Kill them with kindness. I like that. And that's, that's something I say at the end of every one of my videos, is to be good to yourself. So first off, kill yourself with kindness. Be good to yourselves. And that's kind of the whole point of this Self-Care Sunday. So what I want to start doing is I want to do, and I'm doing that today, a little recap of the Self-Care Sundays that we had in the month of March. And in January and February and March, we didn't have a set theme aside from the self-care. And moving forward, starting in April, the whole month is going to be a theme. So we'll have likely 3 to 4 videos. It kind of depends on where the Sundays fall. Could be even 5. A theme. So the theme would carry on through the whole month. And I think I like that idea because it lets us dig a little deeper into some of the things that we've already talked about. So for April, I'm planning to do affirmations. So we'll dig a little deeper into affirmations, what they are, how they work, what they aren't, and also do some artwork, and whatever that form that takes for you. It could be collaging, it could be painting, coloring, whatever, but there will be a prompt similar to how I've been doing it, but it'll be around affirmations. So I'm going to recap, and while I'm recapping, the prompt for this week, before I get too far into it, is to and it's funny because when people hear self-care, I know the first thing they do is go to this. And I'm proud that I've gone, I'm not sure how many weeks we're in now without doing this one, but it's pampering. So pampering yourself, and that could be taking a bath with some Epsom salt, with some candles and a little bit of music. It could be, there could be any number of ways that you like to pamper yourself. And a nice cup of tea. And what I like to do to pamper myself, and I actually started this during COVID, and that was to give myself a weekly or every week and a half or so manicure. So I thought it would be really fun to kind of go through my manicure routine so you can see what I do. I'm going to show you some of the products that I use. But before, because I can't really talk about the first week of March's, what the first week was in March for Self-Care Sunday. The prompt was do an inner child collage, and it will be hard for me to show that, while I'm doing my nails. So before we get started on that part of it, so I just wanted to, I'm going to stand up and make sure that this is all in camera, and it is. Yep, perfect. So this was, I just had you all just make some kind of a collage, kind of guided by your inner child. So if you haven't done this yet, it's kind of a recap and a reminder that you can still go ahead and do this. So you just kind of close your eyes, take some deep breaths, connect with your inner child, say, hey, I know I haven't talked to you lately or ever. I would love for you to come out and play. And when you do that, and then you go through magazines, kind of look at them, the images, through your inner child's eye, and then whatever art supplies you have, and just let her play. And I would love to hear, how many of you did this and how it worked for you. Um, I found it to be very powerful, and I actually think about this collage off and on. I have throughout the month, and it kind of brings a little smile to my face. So that was the first prompt in March. So let me put this to the side. So the other ones I can talk about while I'm giving myself a manicure. So what I want to do first is, so I just use, I don't clip my nails. I used to clip them all the time, and then I found out that clipping your nails actually puts little tears in them, and it makes them more fragile. So I stopped clipping, and I just do filing. So, and these are just, I got these at Target. They're, just regular. I like the larger size emery boards like this. You might like something else. This is a pretty rough grit, so it takes the nail down really nicely. This is a much softer grit. This is almost like a buffer on this side. So if you don't like to do color, you can just kind of buff your nails out. I don't have it. I don't know if I have any left. I used to not put color on my nails. You can put a little bit of, there's nail oil, and you can look that up. And then you take a really smooth, I don't have a super, super smooth one. Mine wore out, and I have never gotten a new one. But if you put the oil on and then you buff it out, it makes your nails nice and shiny, and without putting any color on them at all. So so these are the files. I just use regular cotton swabs, and then I use this Q-Tex Nourishing nail polish remover. So just put a few dabs on. So if I've been wearing nail polish that has large chunks of glitter, it takes a lot longer to get the polish off. This one's kind of a medium glitter, so it's a little difficult, but it's not impossible. So yeah, so then the next week in Self-Care Sunday, so that was, the first one was the 5th, I think, and then on the 12th we did listen to some music. So this one was kind of a big one for me, and it's one of the reasons I picked it. And I don't know that I really super went into it when I talked about it. I might have. I don't remember. But my mom, growing up in our house, my mom was always listening to music. So she had, tons of albums, and she had one of those record players where you could stack the records on top of each other, like lifted up off of the turntable. And when a record would get over, the needle would lift and automatically move out of the way. The next record would drop, and the needle would move over and place itself down. And I thought that was the coolest thing. So she used to stack up, 5 records, and she had very, her taste was, I probably right on with the times. She liked Andy Williams and Perry Como and Johnny Mathis And of course, Elvis, top of the list. She had more Elvis records than I think I've ever seen. Um, so Elvis, sorry, got a tickle in my throat. So yeah, so then and then like Helen Reddy and Olivia Newton-John and she wasn't big into the Beatles. Um, I think she had one or two of their albums, but I think they were too rock and roll for her. She liked more of the crooner types. And so, oh, Nat King Cole. Yeah, so I grew up literally music in the house every day. My mom played music. And John Denver, um, you know, he, of course, he came on the scene after Elvis and, um, or during Elvis, I guess, and the rest of them. But um, John Denver was one that her and I we both loved him. Like it was one of those things that I don't think happens very often between children and their parents. I also loved Helen Reddy and Olivia Newton-John, and yeah, so while I didn't like all of her music and I wouldn't choose to listen to it, I wouldn't say I disliked it. I I loved Elvis. Andy Williams, my mom and I went to see his Christmas. He came to Seattle and did a Christmas show. We went to see that. So my mom took me to my first concert when I was 8. I was 8 or 9. We went to see David Cassidy because I loved the Partridge Family. And yeah, that was my first concert. 8 years old, my mom took me to see um, David Cassidy. She also took me to see Helen Reddy when I was probably 12, and John Denver. So we went to John Denver multiple times. Basically, every time he came to Seattle, we went to see him. Um, yeah, and when he died in, gosh, I can't remember the year that he died, 90, 99, 98. I can't remember exactly. Oh, my mom and I were just crushed, just crushed. Um, so anyway, I want to continue with that, but I want to say that then the next thing I do is I just kind of look at my nails and see if there's any rough spots. So I just kind of feel. Um, and um, I did a really like I filed them way down last time. So I spent a lot of time filing. So, and I don't think they don't feel too bad. Um, and I used to wash my hands at this stage and then put the polish on, but then I was having issues with the polish just completely popping off, like the whole thing, and so I stopped washing my hands. So I'm just using the finer file just to file down any little rough or sharpish spots that I feel, but they feel pretty good. My nails are recovering. When I had the stress of everything going on with my mom, they were splitting really bad. And the only one that's still splitting a little bit is this one, um, and this thumbnail too a little bit. So I just kind of file it. And then if you are someone who doesn't want to put color on, this is where you would get some of that nail oil and put it on and then buff it out with you can just look them up online, or if you're, at your local drugstore, CVS, Rite Aid, whatever, you can find the little buffing. I like the ones that are they're a rectangle shape. They're like a cube, but rectangle, and they have all different. They have four different, courses of file on them, and they go all the way down to a super smooth one. Um, and then you can and sometimes I do buff mine out, but like I said, last time I did a pretty good um, job on them, so I don't need to do any of that. So then the nail polishes that I like, I have four brands that I like. Well, I have three brands that I like and one that I love. So OPI, I've used OPI for years and years and years. This is one that I like to use in the fall with orange glitter on top. And this is another one of the brands that I really like. So there's OPI, there's Essie. So Essie has, they have pretty glitter like this. I wouldn't really wear this on its own, but I do wear this on top of other colors. So it's kind of thick, and it's like clear nail polish with chunks of glitter in it. But do remember that if you do put chunks of glitter, you have to hold the nail polish remover on your nail for a pretty long time. It takes a long time to get this off. And then these are just a couple other, this is like a more creamier color, and then this has just a little bit of shimmer. So SEESSI. And then this is, I have a few of these brand, it's Butter. And this is a very nice, this is a nice polish too. The only thing that bugs me about this is lots of times this comes off, and then well, I'm not going to open that right now because it doesn't want to open. Now, my new favorite is called Hollow Taco. And my daughter got these for me for Christmas. And I love this nail polish. So it resists chipping really well. And they have the most unique colors. I love these colors. They're so fun. So there's this kind of rusty, goldy, iridescent glitter that I really like. There's this that's really shimmery, like holographic, that's beautiful. This is another creamy. So this is sparkly. This is what I would call shimmery, and this is creamy, and this is also iridescent. And this one, in the sunlight, it looks yellow, but normally, like in the house, it looks pink, so that's really fun. And then this is just another sparkly one. So I've been mostly wearing this lately since Christmas, all these different ones. And then as a final top coat, I use this Seche Vite, or Vite, or Vitae. I'm not sure how you say that. So I just say Seche V, actually, now that I think about it. Seche V. It's a fast drying top coat, and this works amazingly. So now I just need to pick a color. I think I'll do one of these. Maybe I'll do this. Maybe I'll do this one. Why not? Okay, so going on more with my John Denver. So when my mom passed away in November, it was, so that's the other thing. When I was growing up, Christmas music was, I mean, oh my gosh, we started listening to Christmas music I don't know if we ever started like in November, but we listened to it all the time. And all different artists: Elvis, John Denver, Nat King Cole, Johnny Mathis, Wayne Newton, um, just all of them. And so, since my mom passed away in November, I had a really hard time listening to Christmas music. In fact, at first, I couldn't listen. I couldn't listen to it without crying. It was really hard, and really any music for a while was was a little bit difficult for me to listen to. Um, but I've been seeing an energy healer, and she just gently encouraged me to keep trying, because music is so good for it's good for the soul, it's good for the brain. It's just really good for you to listen to music. And I think specifically music that you love, regardless, whether it's punk rock or classical music or jazz or what I call screamo, which is hardcore, um, pop music, whatever it is that you love. That's the music that you should listen to. So I did, and I would put it on in the car when I was driving, but I would skip. I have well, I have numerous playlists, but I kind of have one everyday playlist, and um, when John Denver would come on, I would skip because I was like, not ready. Um, so the week of the 12th, when I assigned the prompt to be, listen to music, or play music, or whatever that means to you, I well, that's one thing that you should know. I I don't all the prompts that I give you are prompts that I also do. Like they're usually, something, not always, but something that I need to work on myself. And so that week of the 12th, I put on my John Denver playlist, and yeah, I listened for at least an hour, maybe a little longer. And while it was sad, it was also so good. So it just it felt like a wound healing, and that's kind of all I could ask for during this time of working through my grief and taking care of myself, which I haven't been doing the past couple years. Um, so so that was the week of the 12th. Whoops, just made a mess here. Um, so then last week was do nothing. Um, and this is probably one of the hardest things for me. I um, I purposely keep myself busy. Like I purposely, um, and not just busy like for the sake of being busy. And I don't mean like busy like, oh, I'm always running around doing stuff. Um, um, I don't just mean physically busy. I mean I keep my mind busy. So there is rarely a time that I am not actively engaging my brain. Um, I it's it's just I always am keeping my brain busy. Um, it's just something that I've probably done it for years without even consciously knowing it. Um, I I don't want to, or haven't wanted to. I am now, out of necessity, but in years past, I would rather do anything than think about things that I don't want to think about. Um, I feel like it has a tendency to take me to dark places where I don't want to go. And mostly, I don't want to go because I don't know how to deal with them. Now I'm learning how to deal with them and how to accept them. Like they're a part of me. They are, it's it's hard to describe, and I'm still learning how to do it. So this last week, the week of the 19th, it was very hard for me. And I have to be honest, I didn't do it every day, but I did try to do it. And I started with just, a couple minutes and just kind of worked my way up. Um, I worked my way up to 15 minutes of sitting and doing nothing. Um, and it was hard. But there was one thing that made it a little easier, and we had a couple of very nice days um, here in the Seattle area. And when I sit outside, I think sitting outside in nature is the easiest place and the most likely place that I will do nothing. Um, so, and so that's what I ended up doing. A couple of days, I sat out on the deck, and it was lovely. It was, and I actually didn't notice the last time when I'm estimating that was 15 minutes because I actually forgot to time myself, but I was sitting there for quite a long time. I did have some tea that I was drinking, but I was just looking. I have a beautiful view, so I'm just blessed with, um, and just looking at the the birds and the crows and the seagulls, and the eagles and boats on the water, and um, it was just it was nice. So I know that with the weather getting better, I'll be doing that a lot more. Um, but I would like to hear, how it went for, and any of you, if you did try. If you didn't, that's fine. You can. There's still um, time for you to do that. All of these prompts, you can go back and um, redo them, or do them for the first time if you haven't yet. I know some of them, if you're not actively, working on yourself and your self care, and if you're not actively going through the healing process, that's okay too. That's okay. You can, skip the ones that cause you pain. No one knows more than me, um, that it's. I'm not going to say it's okay, but I think it is okay when it's time for you to do the hard things. um, you will do them. I believe I did. I waited way too long to do this work, and but it's paying off. I think when it's kind of like, with an alcoholic or a drug addict, they always say, oh yeah, you have to reach bottom. Oh, look at that in the sun. Oh my goodness, that is so pretty. um So yeah, just something to think about. And I would be curious to hear, how often you were able to do it. I did inside never more than a couple minutes at a time, but the times that I was able to sit outside, I was able to go a lot longer, with just sitting and doing nothing. And I purposely left my phone in the house so I wouldn't be tempted to look at it. Just little things like that. A little too big of a glump there. So then this top coat, you just really have to let it set for maybe 10 or 15 minutes and you can pretty much go about your day. Um, I wouldn't like stab sharp objects into it, but it's going to be okay. And you know, the longer it sets, the stronger it is. So that's it. That's me doing my weekly manicure. So this is the color I used. It's Hollow Taco, and it's Choco Hollow. So Choco, like CHOCO, dash Hollow, HOLO. That's that one. So that's it. So, I know not everyone does their nails, but do something to pamper yourself, even if it's just, maybe shaping your nails or filing them, or, um, like I said earlier, taking a bath, or, you know, getting a massage, even though, not everyone can afford to get a massage, but you know what I mean. Just something to pamper yourself. Um, Couple pieces of chocolate in the tub. Well, don't put the chocolate in the tub, but while you're sitting in the tub, you can eat the chocolate. So that's the prompt for this week is pamper. Just do something do something good for yourself that makes you feel relaxed and puts you in a little bit of a meditative state and enjoy. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week with affirmations. And remember to be good to yourselves. Bye.